Welcome to For Belysning.
You are not broken.
You are out of balance.
And there is a path home.
This is for belysning,
From the Alaska ulfhednar.
ancestral morning light for those
who have been through hell
and are still standing.
This nonprofit has a sliding scale guidance
At alaskaulfhednar.org/guidance.
for felonious belly snake.
Begins now.
Every day, someone's little girl, daughter, sister, girlfriend, fiance, wife, cousin, mother, auntie, grandmother, great grandmother, elder disappears, shattering a family, a community, the world. There is something we can all do. Remember them.
God Morgan, happy Wootens Day to you. I hope today is amazing already for you, wherever you happen to be. And I hope this week is created within you an energy of excitement, of opportunity, of beauty all around you. It is the way we can look at the world, regardless how dark the shores may seem. The horizon brings to us warmth and light and opportunity, potential. So I hope that you gaze upon your world, on your reality that you currently exist in that way, in the way of perspective, altering to provide love and warmth and passion. For these truly are the gifts that we are given as humans. Firstly, as always, I want to say thank you. Thank you for all of you who have liked, followed, subscribed, listened, dial in, tune in, whatever it is. Particularly those at, there it is, kwwp.org radio, nonprofit radio, who listen to us live each and every morning here in Alaska, as well as my friends, my family, my clan of New Reality TV, newrealitytv.com, of course, streaming channel with a perspective, with a broad stroke of perspectives that can offer you that next piece of information that will resonate and help you along your journey. So check those out by all means. Today's show brought to you by Janet Howard Fashions, a wonderful collection of clothing that really sets the boundaries of beauty and elegance. So check them out, as well as all of our other affiliates at our affiliate station, or our affiliates page, akumedia.akoutlaw.com/sponsors. Check them out. You will not be disappointed. A wonderful collection of individuals whom provide for a support for programs. So do check them out. Today on Wootens Day, as we embrace the wisdom and his quest for wisdom, a story that, of course, my ancestors told me, and this was the story of the snow hare. The snow hare survives on timing and fit. For as those of you who may know, the the snow hare adjusts for its environment. It loses some of its fur during the summer, puts on more for the winter. It moves in bursts, dashing and stalling and dashing and stalling. its steps are measured so as to not waste energy and steps, particularly in the winter months when Skald, of course, is bringing her joy of winter and a blanket for Mother Earth. Today, I want to talk again about the weave that we live our lives in, that we are all part of, this huge magical loom that lies beneath the surface of our existence. Many threads for each entity that breathes some form of life, whether it be the consciousness of a spiritual entity, the physical form, that consciousness tied to that physical form, whether it be the animals, the lands, everything has threads. And they are interwoven together to create a pattern called existence. When I began to understand at a much greater level, I thought of these threads as being fragile, as being single-threaded. I remember sewing patches on leather jackets or sewing different things of my children as they grew up, sewing up holes and darning the items that they wore through. And I thought of that single piece of thread that I would have sewn pants through, and I remember my mother, as she taught me to sew when I was a boy, she taught me that, the single thread that would hold a hole, a seam that ripped. If I single threaded it, it would likely break again. It would likely break or begin to separate and might hold for a little while, but then it would again crumble. She said to me, sew at least two rows, that they would be stronger, that they would stand the test of time when they were put under pressure. And I've thought of this now lately very, very strongly. As I've been shown the loom, I've been shown that one piece of thread, one existence, is wrapped in hundreds, if not thousands, of other threads. Gifts brought to us by ancestors that existed before our time. But in the loom, ancestors would begin to fall away as we left their memories. As their memories faded throughout the generations, their thread would fray and it would begin to come out of the loom. Their existence erased. And I thought of that and I started to think about what culture and my ancestry meant, and I began to understand it is this ability to maintain the memories of our ancestors that keeps the thread within the loom. It keeps the thread wrapped around us as we go about our lives, and our thread, how it grows with new people we meet, with new places we go, how those pieces interact with our thread and they're woven together. How colors come into our lives and exit our lives, creating a mosaic of our existence. And I started to really begin to put all of this together in my mind, for me. Whether this resonates with you, one thread, me, wrapped in the threads of my parents, of their parents, of their parents before them, and their parents, and their parents, and their parents. And as I paid them homage, as I embraced them, all of my ancestors, I found my thread being more surrounded, comforted, excuse me. I found them comforting in the fact that I could decide all of these different connections. I've spoken before, and I'll speak of it again. My father brought with him a sense of superiority. He felt those of a different skin color didn't rate what he had. He felt that the male physical form was more superior to the female. And as I spoke with my mother about this, she spoke and she said his father felt the same way. Maybe it even came from his father. But I said, and a very long time ago, probably about the time I was in the military, that does not mean anything. It would be no different than having a blue car or a red car. They're same cars. One's just painted a wonderful blue, and one's painted a wonderful red or green or whatever color. The car is still the same car. Man is still the same, whether his skin is purple, orange, with racing stripes, or it's a dark, beautiful chocolate brown, or a pale white, or maybe a tan, almost the color of unused leather. It mattered not. It was still a man. And then I thought, as I looked upon the loom, I wondered the difference now between the male and the female, and said, what is the difference here? And as I gazed upon the threads, I noticed there was no difference. There was no difference. But what I noticed became even more important. And that is when the male and the female came together and formed a weave, bringing with them their ancestry from either side. The weave doubled in strength. It doubled in what it offered for resilience. And then along the way, I noted there were knots on the thread. But the knots weren't just a knot. For the threads of our ancestors surrounded those threads too. They still stayed with us, of course, but as our ancestors, the threads of our ancestors wrapped around us, as we tied a knot to these offspring, our children, the threads of our ancestors would envelop that thread too, creating a weave around the child. And I says to myself, of course, what if we do not teach our children of this additional thread? And I realized that a thread, when not given the opportunity of ancestry and culture, our history, our family, left bare by itself, capable of fracturing, capable of tearing and being torn. Then and there, I decided that I would restore my ancestry as I had restored it to myself. I restored it for my child, my children, and now my grandchildren. And I see in the loom within my mind, I see that thread being surrounded by our ancestors, the ancestral threads, as they weave around, providing for them values and virtues and beliefs that extend far back in time. And I begin to truly understand the loom. What originally I thought was just but a bunch of strands of threads is not. It is families bundled together in such a way that they fit within other families. They fit within the land, within the space, and they create a mosaic, a pattern of a clan, of a life, of that which we seek. Today, as we speak of the snow hare and timing and fit within its environment, I'm reminded of the loom, and I'm reminded of our threads as we fit our threads into that weave that is our family history, that is our culture, that is the lands, that is the place at which we are. I see now the importance of understanding growth and still. When we embrace, reach out and we embrace and we pull things to us. But as we pull those things and bring them close to us, we take time to internalize that which we have now drawn close. We discovered, or I discovered, that it was my family that would provide for me the safety of not breaking. It became a critical lesson in life. Today, I wish to call upon the God Olden, that he may grant us wisdom, he may speak to us through the use of the runes. Today's rune Wunjo. Wunjo. And Wunjo, I think, is very appropriate today. Because Wunjo speaks of harmony. It speaks of the loom and the weave within that loom, joining together families, clans, lands. It speaks of fellowship, bonding. A wonderful rune for today. A wonderful rune to represent the journey of today. My friends, I must take a moment and take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I want to talk about how we can take the lessons from the snowshoe hare and apply it to our modern day, everyday life to find peace, harmony, joy. We'll be right back after this quick commercial.
Feed the four-footed crew right. Zeal Pet Foods keeps ingredients honest and energy steady. Check out all their options and all the links in our webpage at sponsors.
It's happening.
It's in the air.
The time is now.
We're all waking up.
We're waking up.
We're all waking up.
It's all shifting.
New vibrations.
It's you.
It's you.
It's me.
It's all of us.
Together.
A new time.
A new day.
A new energy.
A new energy.
New reality.
Awaken with us.
Awaken with us.
Awaken with us.
NewRealityTV.com.
Level up your language in minutes a day. TalkPal AI gives instant feedback and real practice. Try it and try the link in our description.
These words are stirring something heavy in you. You don't have to carry it alone. Sliding Scale Spiritual Guidance with sessions outside normal business hours is available through the Alaska ulfhednar. Visit akulfhednar.org/guidance to book a free discovery session.
And thank you so much for taking that moment with us. I can only begin to express upon you my appreciation for my friends and family at New Reality, NewRealityTV.com, a wonderful collection of just many different perspectives of our spiritual journey. So a wonderful source for you to investigate and to see what resonates with you. I also want to give a shout out to Jen at Howard Fashions, who brings this show today, and express upon you the same appreciation as they have a wonderful collection of women's clothing that I think pretty much sets a room. Pretty much, it defines a room. It's a wonderful collection. So do please check them out. You can see all of them at akumedia.akoutlaw.com/sponsors. So be sure to check those out. Today we're talking about the snow hare and the advantages of the snow hare and its ability to fit into its world, and how it navigates that world in such a way that it adapts, it adjusts, it learns, it grows, it changes. And I wonder if we can't apply those same uh, those same lessons to our existence. One of the first things that I remember in my own life coming to the realization of is that everything I gazed upon in the physical realm, I could look at it differently. I didn't have to look at even the same thing the same way every day. One day I could see beauty. One day I could see strength, and another courage. Maybe even another would be its flexibility of adapting. I could look at all these different parts of my life in whatever way I chose to look at them. I could see grief and sadness and struggle and pain, or I could change that narrative. I could change my narrative. I could see things differently. This led to a huge discovery for me. This ability, this gift of looking at particularly my emotional states and deciding, is that what I want? Many times we speak and we say, "Oh, but my great grandmother left the physical realm, and I am struck with grief." Well, I understand the physical loss, the inability to reach out and to hold her hand, to share tea, to share those wonderful talks where she shared a lifetime lived in a world I don't know. And you say, I can look at the loss, the physical loss, and absorb the grief, or I could think of all the stories she told when I had access, or I simply close my eyes and I remember her. Remember her speaking stories of a time gone past, of ways and methods they use that are ancient, yet they provide a warmth and a comfort even to me today, as you know, technology floods our world and invades every aspect of living in the modern day. I am reminded of my grandmother who had the most beautiful handwriting you've ever seen. It was beautiful. Her letters and the skills she had. And I'm moved by that. I embraced that. Her handwriting was gorgeous. And to her it was just writing a letter. To her it was just making a grocery list. But to me, it might as well have been the document of all documents. And I began to see the importance of my family, my ancestry, of the ancestors, the culture, the communities they shared. And I began to wrap tight those things of my ancestry. So I encourage you, in much the same way as I experienced, to embrace more of our ancestors, our cultures, even if we can't put a face to the name. In some cases, we can't put a name to it. Matters not. Remember, the power that you hold in your mind is that of intent. We don't need a document. We don't need a piece of paper. We don't need to measure up to someone else's bar. Your body knows who your ancestors are. Your threads know who your ancestors are. Let us open our eyes and embrace our ancestors. You don't have to put a name or a face to it. You just have to feel them. So as you work this week, here in the middle of the week in Wootens Day, let us take a moment and put our ancestors back into the center of our lives. All right? Try it and see what you get. See how you feel. If you find you have ancestors who you may not be, they may have acted in a context that you don't understand, okay, skip them. You have plenty more. There have been many different contexts throughout the existence of humans. You're bound to find one that applies, that you want to embrace. Remember, it's what's in here. It's in your heart. So reach out. Tonight, my friends, there will not be Sporksball Best Verret. We are taking a couple of days off as we celebrate Yule and get through these next couple of weeks. We will resume Sporksball after the new year, after the Julian New Year, I should say. And of course, keep those questions coming. We will lay out the shows for next year, and we're always hoping to give away more and more t-shirts. We may actually wind up plugging in a segment into this show every day just to answer the questions that you've asked. So I appreciate that completely, and I look forward to working and serving with you again next year as we go through the year. Belysning will continue. For Fellina's Belysning will be every weekday morning at 7 o'clock Alaska time, so please join us for that. And then this weekend we actually have a drum circle. We'll be doing that at the Abbott Loop Community Park for our Patreons. So for those of you who are subscribed to our Patreon feed, please, or if you haven't been, please do. If you have, thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you next Saturday, but I also look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we embrace the strength of Thor and bring that into our everyday life. I wish you the very, very, very best Wootens Day, and I will see you again tomorrow for Thor's Day. Love and light, my friends.
Felinos. Una. Hjälp oss med. Magnify. Tu för åg. Kaliot.
If what we've touched today hits something raw for you, you don't have to carry it alone. We offer a sliding scale spiritual guidance with sessions outside normal business hours. Visit akulfhednar.org/guidance to book a free discovery session.